Hello, I'm Trent Sports Information Director Matt Vader alongside head men's basketball coach Brooks Miller, here to take a look at the 2016-17 season. Coach, let's start by taking a look back at last year. You guys finished 18-9, make the MIAA championship game for the first time in team history. What are some of your takeaways from last year's experience?
We had a very mature group last year. I think we had 5 seniors that all played a huge contribution to our success, not just last year, but the years leading up to that. Through the good and the bad. And I don't think there's anything more valuable in college basketball than a senior. When you have a senior, I know Coach Beard, who was a mentor of mine when I was at Texas Tech, is now the head coach at Texas Tech. He talks about the value of a senior that's been through a program through the ups and the downs, and each individual is a part of their own separate challenge. So I think when you have seniors, it makes a significant impact on the culture and the maturity of your team. Just little things like what you eat before practice. If we got a 2 o'clock practice, are you eating a light lunch and planning on eating a real heavy dinner? Or are you going to go in and eat pizza and hamburgers like a lot of freshmen will and come out and be a little sluggish? So I think there's little things like that that really impact a program. And I think our seniors last year, the maturity had a huge impact. We played a pretty challenging non-conference schedule. We had a chance to play against Wisconsin Oshkosh and were able to beat them here at home. They won the Wisconsin Conference and went to the national tournament, as well as some other challenging games against Ohio Wesleyan. We had some ups and downs, but I think that team really battled because of the maturity. Being 5-7 going into the last week of the conference in conference play, knowing that we had to win both of those games, we had seniors step up in all different ways. Ben Soroka was our starting point guard for the last 2 years, but he made the adjustment of, he became one of our best post defenders that last week and a half and really had a big impact. And obviously Jared, you can't say enough about what Jared brought to the group. He's the Capital One National All-American Player of the Year, Academic All-American Player of the Year, and everything that comes with that he brought to the table, and he just did not want to quit playing basketball that last week and a half and really carried us as a group. But I think more than anything, they left a legacy with these upcoming guys and set the standard very high as how to carry yourself, how to prepare, things that, again, not only are going to help us be successful this year in basketball or for years to come, but what they can do for the rest of their lives.
And you talked about some of the guys who maybe aren't here anymore, but you also are bringing back quite a few who were, led by Will Dixon, 2-time All-Conference player, some other key contributors like Kyle Dodson, Ellis Cummings, Jordan Craiglow. What are you looking from them to carry on the legacy that last year's group left?
Well, I think you can tell a lot of improvement and maturity from guys from one year to the next. Freshmen like Craiglow and Dodson, who really stepped up and had big years for us. Craiglow, especially at the end of the year. Now they know what to expect. They know how to prepare in the offseason and what they're going to be looking for coming into into preseason practice and in the game. So I think they've took a significant step forward. I think guys like Addison Daub, who's now a senior, there's a huge sense of urgency there that, Addison's situation with us has never been his lack of IQ, his lack of ball handling or decision making. It was trying to find his right niche in a program. Coming as a transfer student, it's almost like being a freshman back to back. And I know that because I experienced the same thing. And him and I have had many discussions through the past few years of making the adjustment to another program. And I think this year you can really tell in practice how he's ready to come out and explode and be a special kind of player in our program. Ellis Cummings physically is as gifted as anyone in the country in Division III basketball. And I think his maturity and his experience now, this is only his 4th year of organized basketball. One senior year of high school and now 3 years of college basketball. Feels much more comfortable with the group. There's more of a trust there. And you can't say enough about Will Dixon. The thing that's really remarkable about Will is he has arguably been our best basketball player for the last 2 years since he was a sophomore, maybe even when he was a freshman. And Will has had no problem taking a back seat when it has come to when individuals are being recognized, like Tyler Good at his senior year, like Jared last year. Will is our only captain, not because I think he's a great player, but I think because he does everything that embodies what a great, successful individual becomes. He's a 3.5 chemical engineering major. The course load and the workload in the off the court with him is just remarkable. The way he carries himself at the Humane Society, the way he leads in different activities that we do together, whether it's just eating dinner at the restaurant, making sure guys got their phones off, making sure guys are dressed a certain way when we get on the bus. But his patience, and again, I go back to the senior and how valuable those individuals are and how unique of an experience that is. We have We have 4 of them this year. Will's really the only true senior in the program. Addison's been here 3 years. Luke is in his 4th year but missed a year with a knee injury. And then Adam Suzuki, being a junior college transfer from California, is really starting to feel more comfortable with the expectation level of what he can bring to the table. But Will sets the tone for that. Just like I think Tyler set the tone 2 years ago. Jared set it last year. And Will has really been able to observe and learn from those 2 individuals and understand what he needs to do to help this team be successful.
In addition to these guys coming back, you brought in a lot of new faces. How are they acclimating, and who are some of the guys that you were looking for to make an impact this year?
Well, regardless of the talent level, which I think this new group is extremely talented compared to some of the overall groups we've brought in, there's always an adjustment period. We're obviously a system-oriented program. We run motion offense, which requires lots of reading. In order to read and communicate, you have to be able to recognize. In order to be able to recognize, you need repetition. So the more repetition that these young guys get at both ends of the floor, both defensively and offensively, to learn how to communicate. Communication is one of our main core values. You have to be able to communicate to be able to participate with us. We've had guys that aren't as talented play more minutes than other guys that are, based on the fact that they're great communicators. Great communicators raise the level of the group. It puts us all on the same page. And again, it's another one of those skills that I think you take with you outside of basketball to be successful. And you know, that's what these new guys have to learn. Guys like Miles Copeland, who we've been recruiting now for 3 years. We're so fortunate to finally have him in our program. Biomechanical engineering major. A guy that's 6'6", long, athletic, can attack the rim, is capable of making a jump shot, and is able to guard on the perimeter and challenge shots in a lot of ways. Once he develops and feels more comfortable flowing defensively and understanding where he can get his opportunities to make plays for the team offensively, he's going to be a special player for us. Cameron Harrington is a state champion. He was a point guard on the state championship Lapel High School team last year. Played for a high school coach that's won 2 state championships, won over 500 games. Miles Copeland the same way. Not a coincidence that those 2 guys are able to make the adjustments right away for us when they played for 2 of the best coaches, one in the state of Indiana, one probably is the winningest coach in Division I in Ohio. You know, so they come from programs where they've really been challenged. Other guys that could possibly make an impact for us is Jason Clune out of Meadville, Pennsylvania. He's a guy that his dad is a college coach. Used to be the head basketball coach at Allegheny College, men's coach. Now he's the head women's coach at Teal College. So he comes from a basketball family. He understands what's important, what makes a team go. But there's a lot of other guys that can play an impact. Langston Johnson, his father's a football coach, unbelievably high character guy, high achieving family, high achieving type of individual. Akeel McLean played on a semi-state team at Hammond Bishop Knoll over in Hammond, Indiana. Tristan Upchurch, coming from Tennessee, has played at a very high level of basketball in the state of Mississippi when he lived there, and in Tennessee they had a lot of success. So there's a lot of different individuals that have been able to join our program this year that I think brings something really unique to the table, and they're all competitors. One of the guys this year I'm really excited about is Jared Dishop. Last year as a freshman from Liberty Center, he hasn't had a lot of basketball experience either. It's very similar to Ellis, but Jared has worked very, very hard on his body this offseason. He broke his foot twice last year for us. So he probably practiced 20 practices out of 100 and some practices last year. So this is really like a freshman year for him. But he's a guy that's extremely talented, but he has an urgency about him that's unique for a new guy. When I say new, just new to the playing group. And I think that stuff is contagious, and he'll be able to do a lot of different things for us.
Got quite a few practices under your belt, obviously no competition yet, but have you gotten a sense of what some of this team's strengths may be and what you still need to work on as you head into the season and hopefully towards working for MIAA title?
Well, I think we do some things differently than we have in the past, because you can't replace a guy like Jared Holmquist. You have to find a way to take advantage of certain things with the personnel you have now. So I do think we shoot the basketball a little bit better overall as a group than we have in the past. I do think we have a higher basketball IQ total collectively as a group. So hopefully that'll benefit us at the end, both ends of the floor. Defensively, obviously, it's going to take some time for us. It always has in the past, especially when you're trying to combine the new guys with the returning guys and find the right combinations. And more so, being able to play with a pace that I think has benefited us in the past at both ends of the floor. We're able to get a lot of movement at the offensive end of the floor, but also we get a lot of movement at the defensive end of the floor, flying around in rotations and attacking the basketball. So, you know, I think right now for us it's about finding the right combinations and doing a couple different things here or there that we can be really, really good at. and living with some deficiencies at this point like we have in the past. But the success of this year's team is really going to depend on how we defend. Guys like Ellis Cummings, Jared Dishop, Miles Copeland, how well do they defend the basket or the baseline? And we talk about baseline defense all the time with what we do. Who can seal the baseline? Guys like Derek Ditto, that is now a sophomore in our program. Can he step up and maybe play some minutes for us by defensively doing the little things necessary, communicating the ball screen, stopping the ball? Those are things that I think every team struggles with, but the programs that are able to really adapt that quickly and get those things solved. And then it doesn't matter how great your defensive rotations are. If you can't finish with a rebound, none of it matters. And that's where I think we're going to miss Jared's presence more than anything, is at the defensive end of the floor. He was a great communicator. And he stopped the ball, and then he was able to find a way to finish with 9.5 rebounds a game. It's an extremely significant stat. So this team has to find a way to collectively communicate at the defensive end of the floor and then finish with rebounds.
What is your outlook of the conference as a whole this year? Obviously, it was very deep last year. Do you expect more of the same?
I think it's going to be deep, but I think it's going to be a different type of deep. I think each and every one of our programs lacks the experience that we had last year, except maybe Hope. I think Hope's got a situation where they could probably start 4 seniors, and then they have a junior in the starting lineup as well, but that's Hope every year. But I think Calvin lost a significant amount of scoring. We did, Adrian did, but I think we're all relying on very similar things. We're relying on guys that didn't get a lot of time last year to be able to step into new roles, leadership roles, aggressive roles, and I also think that we're all counting on a few new guys here to piece in some of the things that we're missing from our graduating seniors. So each and every night, we got 3 new coaches in the league who I believe they come from significantly strong basketball backgrounds. Jay Smith has been a winner at every level he's at. He's at Kalamazoo. They return everybody, which I think is a very talented team. Steve Ernst has won every stop he's been to in high school. He takes over an Olivet program that returns a lot of players, and they have brought in a lot of talent. Steve knows how to recruit. Kyle over at Adrian has inherited a strong, talented group of players, and he comes from, with his background with us, understanding how to utilize guys and how to build a program. I think he's going to have a lot of success there. And then, like I said, you have Hope and Calvin, who have been the Titans in this conference for years and years, and Elma has just done such a significant job of developing their players and have an incredible year last year and being able to build off that momentum. Although they've lost 2 significant players, they have a significant group of guys coming back that played roles for them, very similar to us in a lot of ways.
A lot of excitement off the court with this program right now with the upcoming construction of the MTI Center, which will include, among other things, 3 basketball courts, a new playing arena for the program, and a host of other amenities for students. Can you talk a little bit about that excitement and what that does for this program and university?
I think the excitement is not just for our program, but like you said, university-wide. We just have incredible leadership here at Trine University. With Rick James as the president of our Board of Trustees, with Dr. Brooks being able to galvanize that group and have a vision for this university of growth and expansion like nothing I've ever been a part of before. This is a place where they give you the foundation and the tools to succeed. And we value things here at this university that I don't think other places really understand. We had the National Janitor of the Year 2 years ago because we understand the value that Sherry Albright brings to this campus. And it's not just in what she does, it's how she does it. Those are the things here at Trine University that we value and we try to utilize in our program and get these guys to understand. Fellas, it's one thing to be out and guard a guy, but it's another your approach and how you do it, your activity level. And I think these are things at Trine that we try to carry over onto the floor. We have a coalition right now of Trine Votes. We have a committee that's trying to get every individual on this campus organized and registered to vote. It's a nonpartisan committee, but these are the things we value here at Trine, and I think the MTI Center is a culmination of that. Not just the MTI Center, but Reiners Hall, the new dorm, the growth in hockey, everything that's this university stands for, I think you see. There's a distinct vision, and that comes from great leadership, from the top down. And it's our responsibility as coaches, and we try to share that with the players to understand what we represent and who we represent. And we're very proud and excited about the MTI Center, but I think we're prouder of who we are and what that is a result of. The MTI Center is a result of great leadership. The MTI Center is a result of great vision, and it's a place where we want to go as a program to compete for championships year in and year out. And I think wins and losses come with that type of leadership, the way you do things, the way you handle yourself. And we have such a great example from the top that I think it trickles down into men's basketball, women's basketball, football, engineering, the Kentner School of Business, arts and sciences, all across the board. I think you see that, especially when you have a 99% job placement rate average over the last 2 years. That is a culmination of great leadership. And the MTI Center is very exciting. And I'd have to say I never did think I'd be able to bowl a couple of frames, stop by the restaurant and relax, watch some guys tee off, and coach basketball all in the same day in the same building for a job. So selfishly, it's very exciting for me as well, but I think it's just, this is such a unique place to be a part of and something that my wife and I and my family are very proud of.
Is there anything else that you feel is pertinent to know about your team going into the season?
No, I just think it's it's very exciting this time of year as coaches. I think every coach in the country feels good about their team to an extent of there's a lot of things that we do well, and there's things that we really need to work on, and none of us really know exactly what those are until we get to battle somebody else in a different jersey. But I really like that our group, again, is another high-achieving group of young men. Last year we finished the year again with a 3.3, over a 3.3 GPA. That's 2 years in a row now that we've received the MIAA recognition for that. Us and Hope College are the only two schools in the conference that have been able to say that from a basketball standpoint. And that's our big goal this year. I think we got another high-achieving group of young men in that locker room. And I think anytime you have that, you're going to get positive results. That doesn't always mean more wins than losses. I think that is your winning has a lot to do with the way you carry yourself, the way you do things, not what you do, but the way you do it. And this group of young men do things the right way, and we're very proud to lead them and be a part of that. And I think it's an exciting time because right now we're just geared into making this team better. We're not worried about trying to beat Alma, trying to beat Hope, trying to beat North Park. We're just focused on trying to make this basketball team the best basketball team it can be right now. And for coaching, it's the most exciting time of the year. And I think that, for us, those are things, the preparation is really what we value. I think that really says a lot about your approach and what you can accomplish.
Season tips off Tuesday against Defiance here in Hershey Hall. We hope you'll join us. And for head coach Brooks Miller, thanks for tuning in, and go Thunder.